morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's ITSM interview preparation webinar. We genuinely appreciate your valuable time and your interest in our webinar. So thank you so much for guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I can see that around 25 plus participants have joined yet. We are expected to join more participants, but let's start now due to some time limitation. Let me quickly introduce myself and my company. I am Harshad from Knowlathon IT Services. Knowlathon is one of the premium training and certification providing organization in India, headquarters in Pune and established in 2012. Knowlathon is only platinum partner in this region. We are aggregated partners of PMI, ISACA, Exim, TUV and others. So that's bit about Knowlathon. In this webinar, you will understand the process of ITSM interview, and I'm sure you will get more clarity about the ITSM interview questions and answers. So are you guys really excited today? Yes. So before we dive in, let me introduce you to our today's esteemed trainer, Mr. Sajid sir. Sajid sir has over 25 year of experience of IT service management, in operation, consulting, and in various domains. He is a subject matter expert in ITIL, having excellent hands-on on overtraining, consulting, and implementation of IT service management practices and ITSM tools. He is a passionate about understanding and imparting knowledge on ITIL. So we understand that your time is valuable and we truly appreciate you being here today. So if you have any question, feel free to use our chat feature and we will address those at the end of the session. No, without any delay, I would like to hand it over to Mr. Sajid sir to kick off today's session. Welcome, Mr. Sajid sir.
Thank you, Harshad. So I hope I'm audible, clear and loud.
Yes, sir, you're audible and clear.
Okay, so actually this is a great opportunity to interact with you guys. And so I will directly get in the subject. So Harshad said that all of you are aspired to get to develop your career in IT service management. So when you attend interviews related to IT service management, so what typical questions? And those are moreover like on the screen, you can see the first question, what is ITSM, right? So we will run this session in in two modes. One is I will give you definitions also, and I will give you the context because ultimately it is you need to present your content to your interviewer, correct? So first question is what is ITSM? ITSM, Information Technology Service Management. Am I correct? That's ITSM. So ITSM, by definition, ITSM is a set of specialized organizational capabilities for enabling value for customers in the form of services. So that's the definition. A set of specialized organizational capabilities for enabling value for customers in the form of services. But let us understand a bit more about ITSM. So you guys now whole universe or everybody is using IT some or other way, right? You guys are using mobile. You guys are using mobile services, cloud services, and many many things which are based on IT. So what is IT? IT is information technology. So information technology enables some products to use. And when you are using those product, you are consuming those product. So there has to be something which should be managing or supporting these IT services. So IT service management. Now what happens like each organization. So what when we say specialized organizational capabilities. So what is organizational capability? So one organization have a specific knowledge, have specific resources available to support, to enable certain type of IT services. Now there are, and if we say IT services, information technology services, there are n number of services under IT. Just to list few, like database management service, infrastructure management services, or your cloud management services, your application management services. So all these are subcomponents, or all these are actually services. But IT service management is how to manage these services. So a set of specialized organizational capabilities for enabling value for customers in the form of services. So your organization is providing cloud services, your organization is providing database services, infrastructure services. So all these various services, how to manage these services comes from IT service management. Harshit, should we take the questions there itself, or how is the plan?
Yeah, we can take the question at the end of the session.
Okay, but
Yeah.
still means uh, okay, how do I know that everything is going good? So at least you can reply in chat if you want some more explanation or anything, we can go with that.
Yes,
Are we
yes, sure.
enabling that? Yeah.
Yes, we have a chat feature. People can use that
Or
chat.
else I can ask some randomly. Abhay Nirvan, are they able to unmute themselves? Harshad?
No, so they have don't have a facility to unmute.
Okay, sorry. Okay, then I will continue.
Yeah.
So you guys can ask on behalf of participant if you have anything.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. So now I hope you guys are clear with what is IT service management. So you will be playing one or other role in this domain, that is IT service management, where your focus will majorly, rather than on the technical services, your focus will be on how to manage these services. And to manage these services, now you might have heard of buzzword ITIL. So what is this ITIL? So this is one more question. What is ITIL? So by name, ITIL stands for Information Technology Infrastructure Library. But ITIL is a framework. So ITIL is a framework of best practices for managing IT services. So in ITSM, what we are saying, ITSM, IT service management, is to how to manage IT services. And ITIL is a framework which gives you, or which provides best practices for managing these IT services. It doesn't matter you are providing application services or infra services or database services, any services. ITIL is technology agnostic. So it gives you best practices to manage your IT services. And ITIL has the important factor of ITIL, or the main characteristic, that ITIL framework helps organizations to align their IT services with business needs. And some of the goal for ITLs are like improving IT support and service levels. We will see what is service levels, getting to the root cause of problems quickly, or making your IT services efficient and effective. Those best practices will come from ITIL. Now, as I said, ITIL is a framework, right? ITIL is a framework, and most of you guys may be having some application development background, so you understand what is a framework. Framework is a skeleton which you will use as a meshwork, and you will apply your own ideas onto that. You will apply flesh onto that, and you will derive the required outcome. With this, as we see that ITIL is a framework, so there is another term in the industry which you should know along with framework, that is standard. So somebody may ask you that what is the difference between a standard and a framework? So standard, have you heard about ISO? international standard organization. So some guys says that our services are ISO certified. Our products are ISO certified. So when we say standard, it means it should have a certain level of quality. That is a standard. And who establishes standard? So standard is something established by authority, custom, or general consent as a model or example. So it is so popular, it is documented that everything. So it's the minimum level of quality acceptable. That's the standard. So when you say that we are ISO 27000 certified, we are ISO 20000 certified, or we are ISO 9000 certified, it means you will follow the required and mandatory processes and procedures to achieve that level of quality. So minimum standard you will assure. That's the standard. And a framework is mostly like a structure that provides a base for the development. So now ITIL is a framework and standard you can, as I said, ISO 20000 is a relevant standard. So in standard, you have to do everything as documented in standard document. And in framework, you will get the best practices, you will get the concepts, you will get the ideas. And those ideas, those concepts, you can flourish as per your requirement, which are applicable within your own environment. That's the difference between a standard and framework. So, Harshad, am I allowed to crack a joke in within?
Yes, yes, you can.
Okay, thank you. So, uh, just a simple example I will give you. If you break the signal, what happens? If you jump the signal, you are driving either car or bike and you jump a signal. What happens? That camera takes your photo and you get the challan, right? Or if there is police, he charge you something. Why? Because that's a standard you should follow. Indian Penal Code is a standard. So you cannot break that. If you break that, there will be penalty. At the same time, your holy book says that you should not lie, correct? You should not lie. Every holy book says that. It might be Gita, it might be Quran, it might be Bible, it might be anything. But every holy book says you should not lie. But still, do we lie? Yes, because holy book doesn't penalize us. So here, holy book is like framework. Why? Why holy book says you should not lie? It's a best practice according to holy book. So same way, framework will give you best practices to be followed. If you don't follow, that's not the loss of framework. But in standard, if you don't follow, then you are at trouble. Are we good, Harshad?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Was that
all
a
fine.
really joke or was
Yes.
that heavy explanation?
Understand everyone.
Okay, now in IT, in IT service management domain, there are various frameworks available, and each framework has a different target audience group or different purposes. So most commonly adopted framework in IT service management is ITIL. It is the most adopted framework. Then along with ITIL, you have COBIT, that is Control Objective for Information and Related Technologies. You have TOGAF, the Open Group Architecture Framework. Then again, you might have heard these words, right? Agile and Scrum Framework. So what is Agile and Scrum Framework? That is again a set of best practices offered mainly to be followed while you are developing or when you are building applications. Agile goes as project management also. Then recent buzzword is DevOps, right? What is DevOps? We have under DevOps, we have SysOps and many other streams. Again, that is a framework. Six Sigma. You might have heard that Six Sigma is one of the total quality management. one of the framework from quality management, Six Sigma. There is a specific version of Six Sigma, that is Six Sigma for IT. That that is again you can use, but the most adopted framework in IT service management is ITIL, because ITIL gives you all the procedures, all the processes, all the practices, all the information, all the methods which you need on day-to-day basis, which will help you to enhance your career. Okay, so I think that this was on the first three questions from my side. This was as the basic, because if you want to enter in IT service management domain, then you should know what is IT service management. You should know what is the difference between standard and a framework, and what is the most adopted framework in IT service management. That is ITIL. Now, assuming that you know some bits and pieces of IT service management, you might have heard these terminologies. Now I will take you to a bit deep level, not too deep, but to a next level. Now we will talk about the common terms, common terms which are used in IT service management. So the most basic term being used in IT service management is incident. I'm sure that most of you will be working either on catching incident, either on dispatching incident, either on resolution of incident. But what is incident basically? So incident, by definition, an unplanned interruption, to a service or reduction in the quality of a service. That's incident. A basic simple example. You guys might be using Facebook, right? You guys might be using Facebook from your mobile, and suddenly you are not able to log in Facebook. So you are not able to access Facebook. That's an incident, because you are not able to use that service. That's an incident. It might be you are not able to log into Facebook. It might be you are not able to unlock your mobile phone. It might be that you are not able to log in on a any website, any bank website. You are using something, but now you are not able to use it. That is broken. Service broken is incident. In simple word, anything which was working but now it is not. That is break fix. That is incident. So now I just took one example that you are not able to log into Facebook, right? That's the incident. So how you will be responding to this incident? Now, certainly you are facing that incident. You are the user. You are not the you are not responsible to resolve that, because you don't have any control over Facebook. So what you will do? You will contact help desk of Facebook, for example. I don't know whether Facebook has help desk or not, but you will be contacting support team of Facebook or support team of that website or support team of that bank, that you are not able to do this function. You are not able to log in. What they will do? Their support team will come in picture. They will register your incident, right? They will ask you details. Who are you? What is your name? What is your phone number? And everything. All the mandatory basic details they will acquire, and they will record those details in their ticketing system. And they will create a ticket and they will call it as an incident. Now, who will do this? Service desk will capture this information, and service desk, either by following knowledge articles, or they will share that information with their technical teams, who will actually look into why Harshad or why Sajid or why anybody is not able to log in their system. Simple incident, right? That's what we do. So there can be any issue due to which Harshad or Sajid or anybody is not able to log in. That a simple issue, that user might be locked out. User might be locked out due to what we say, that user might have entered wrong password multiple times and user account got locked out. That can be a reason. So for incident, there can be any reason. And that reason behind that incident is actually defined as problem. So when we say what is problem, these are two different entities, incident and problem. Don't get confused. I will try to explain the concepts here. So what we saw, incident is user is not able to use that service. And what is problem? Problem is a cause or potential cause. A cause or a potential cause of one or more incidents. So what was the incident? Incident was Harshad is not able to log in the application, or Harshad is not able to log in the Facebook, on the Facebook page. What is the problem? Problem is actually Harshad's account got locked out in the database. In the user database, Harshad's account is locked out. That's the reason he is not able to log in. So Harshad will never know that what is the issue, what is the root cause, what is the problem. Problem is always for technical team, and incident is user facing. Whether problem is from resolution side, technical phase of the issue. This how we can different. So now we saw two concepts. One is incident, another is problem. So what is the distinction between an incident and a problem in the realm of ITSM, IT service management? So when as we are talking about IT services, so I took a generic example, but now you will be supporting some of the customer. You will be supporting your customers. Those might be individuals, those might be organizations. So what they will be reporting? They will be reporting incident to you. And what you will do? You will try to fix that incident at the earliest. Now to fix that incident, there are two ways. Either you can go identify that what is the exact root cause. So what the initial cause we found out here in the previous example, that Harshad's account was locked out. So what is the best way to deal with? Let's unlock his account. So what you will do? You will unlock his account and Harshad is able to log in. Now again, after some duration or very next day or after some time, Harshad's account again gets locked out. Now there is something is happening at backend which you don't know, but the result is Harshad's account is getting locked out repetitively. And Harshad is not able to log in. So every time Harshad is reporting, and what you are doing, you are applying workaround because Harshad wants to log in immediately. So what you will do as a quick fix, as a workaround, what you will do, you will just unlock his account so that next moment Harshad is able to log in. But how far, how you will stage this, for how many days this condition will go? Somewhere you need to understand why his account is getting locked out, and understanding or identifying why that account is getting locked out is called as root cause analysis, which is part of problem management. And then you may understood that from another device, Harshad is Harshad is trying to log in, some automated login from another device is attempting wrong password, and that's the reason Harshad's account is getting locked out. This might be a reason, not mandatorily that this should be the root cause. And then you can inform. So if this is the root cause, you can get back to Harshad. You can inform Harshad, boss, please log out from that another device which is trying to log in the Facebook or in the application, and due to unsuccessful or due to repetitive failures, your account is getting locked out. Now, if Harshad switches off that device or removes his profile from that device, so there will be no failure attempt and there will be no locked out. So you have resolved that issue permanently, because login, unable to log in was not the problem. Unable to log in was an incident. And the problem was his account was getting locked out. So once you work on the cause, once you work on the problem, your incidents should get should not be repeated. Count should go to zero. I hope this was a big explanation. I hope you are following it. Harshad, are we good?
Yes, sir, going well.
Okay, then uh, what is SLA? Have you heard this SLA? At least I, not in IT or not in my professional, but even outside of IT services or outside of my day-to-day work, I frequently hear this word SLA. SLA stands for Service Level Agreement. SLA stands for Service Level Agreement. What is that? So when we are providing services, to our customers, so those services should have some some assured level of services. So level of service level agreement. So when we are providing services, it should have some accepted level and which is in agreement with customer. So simple thing, what is SLA? Simple SLA, you might be using Geo SIM card, or for that matter, any mobile connection, and your mobile service provider gives you some package, some level that you will be getting 2 GB data per day. You will be getting 1.5 GB data per day or whatever. What is that? That is a certain level of service which is agreed between service provider and service consumer. Who is the service provider? Your mobile operator is service provider. He is providing you mobile services. You are the service consumer who is consuming those mobile services. And how to use those services? So you have agreement that service provider will give you 2 GB data on daily basis. And against that, you will be paying a finite amount monthly, quarterly, or annually. That's service level agreement. Now, what is the purpose of service level agreement? Because or else, if you don't have agreement, Harshad may go back to Geo saying that, boss, you committed me mobile services. I want 50 GB data per day. So that will be loss to service provider. And service provider may charge Harshad saying that, boss, you have to pay 1 lakh rupees per month. Why? Because we were providing you 50 GB data. That is not our concern whether you use that or not. We provided 50 GB data. Why didn't you use? So to avoid this conflict, expectations, customer requirements and expectations, and what will be provided by service provider, where it is documented, that is called as service level agreement in simple terms. If I want to give you any example in IT services, you might have worked with, or in your day-to-day job also, you might be working with incident SLA. That priority 1 incident will be resolving in 4 hours. Priority 4 incident will be resolving in 40 hours or something like that. So this is also one of the example of service level agreement. Next, a buzzword in ITSM is CMDB. What is CMDB? It's a database. So in ITIL, we have various practices. One of the core practice is configuration management. And this configuration management, ha- all the data, all the data which is required to maintain that configuration, that is recorded in one database, and that database is called as configuration management database. So to go or to understand more in CMDB, let us first understand what is CI. So this might be a completely new term for you. Configuration item, CI. This is a very generic term in IT service management. CI, configuration item. So now, as we took one example, that Harshad is using Facebook, what Facebook account. So now, actually, if you see, it's a IT service. It's a IT service, and this service has multiple components involved. This service has multiple components involved, which enables this end-to-end service. So by definition, CI is any component that needs to be managed in order to deliver an IT service. So Harshad, how do you connect to Facebook from mobile? So you should have one mobile handset. Then you should have, either you should have a SIM card with data connectivity, or you should have Wi-Fi service available. Then you should have mobile Facebook application installed on your mobile. You should have login on Facebook page, Facebook on Facebook site. So your login on Facebook site is one configuration item which will be managed by you and Facebook both. Your mobile handset is also one of the configuration items which will be managed by you, not by Facebook. Your Wi-Fi connection is again one of the service or the configuration item which you will be using to connect. You use that and to connect to internet. You will be having a SIM card. So all these individual components, these components creates makes a service and enable you to consume that service. So each of these components is called as configuration item, and all the information related to these configuration items will be maintained in one central database that will be called as CMDB, configuration management database. And this is the most important database from ITSM perspective, because this will give you relationship of various CIs. This will give you relationship of various CIs. You can understand that failure of which CI, what will be the impact on other components onto that. Like here in this example only, if Harshad has a active SIM card and Harshad has active wireless connection also. So if SIM card is not available still, Harshad will be able to access Facebook using Wi-Fi services. If Wi-Fi services are not available, Harshad still can use Facebook services using his data connection from his SIM card. So that all information, that all intelligence you can find from CMDB, Configuration Management Database. Next, the most heard, we saw incident, we saw problem, and there is a service request. Now, by definition, a request from a user or user's authorized representative that initiates a service action which has been agreed as a normal part of service delivery. So I will give you a simple example. Simple example, then we will go for IT example. So if you are not able to withdraw money using your debit card, will that be incident or a service request? It will be incident, because you are expected, you are supposed to withdraw money using your debit card, but you are not able to do that. So that's a service failure. But you need a new checkbook. You need replacement of debit card. Is this a service failure? No, this is not a service failure, because you need new debit card. You need new checkbook. You want to download statement. All these are requests. These are not, who will be providing this? Who will provide you checkbook? Can I provide you checkbook? No. Can I provide you debit card? No. Who can provide that? Only the authorized service provider, to whom you will be requesting, from whom you are availing those services. So service provider, so anything which is not broken, but still part of normal service delivery, will be called as service request. So in your day-to-day work, you might see that customer is requesting for some report. Now providing a report. providing a report is not break fix. It's a service request. But you have provided a mechanism. You have provided one tool to customer from where user can fetch required report. And if he is not able to fetch required report from that application or from that system or from that tool, then it's a break fix. But if user asks you to generate that report, it becomes service request. I hope you followed this. So last two questions again from ITSM area only. RASI model. You might have heard this or might not be. But RASI is a model to identify or assign responsibility. So RASI is a responsibility assignment matrix. So what we do, this goes more over in line with the project management tactics or strategy. So what we do, we identify the different tasks, right? So what we saw just now in previous example, we said that Harshad will be contacting Facebook service desk. Harshad will be contacting Facebook. So service desk will come in picture. Service desk will capture information, record the ticket, and they will pass on that to technical team. Technical team will identify and they will resolve. Now, if you see, there are multiple tasks involved. So who will be contacting with Harshad? What information will be fetching? Who will be updating that information in the tool? So all these tasks. So RASI stands for responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. So responsibilities will fall in four roles: responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. So all the stakeholders in that scope will play either one role for each of the activity, either R, A, C, I. So let's say you have two roles only. One is service desk and another is technical team. And you have only two tasks that record the incident and resolve the incident. So when you will write down those activities, that you have only two activities, record the incident and resolve the incident. So who will be recording incident? Service desk will be recording incident. So in the RASI model, we will make them service desk as accountable. And resolve incident, we will make technical team as accountable to resolve that incident. So this way, your whole organization will understand. When I say organization, it is not, don't take it as company. I'm talking about your team also. So you will understand what is individual's role in each of the activity. So that gives you clear cut bifurcation of responsibility and authorities. That is the purpose of having RASI model. There is one more version of RASI model, that is RASCI, and S stands for supported by. And the last question, you might have heard this word also in your organization, change advisory board. So change is one more concept from ITL. So we saw incident, problem, service request. So there is change request also. So today we could not get time to talk more about change, but let us understand what is change advisory board. So in organization, continuously we are updating, we are changing, we are enhancing, we are correcting our IT services. So when any IT service is being upgraded, being evolved, being corrected, that is called a change. And there is a group of stakeholders. There is a group of stakeholders who will be approving the changes, who will monitor, who will analyze, and who will approve the changes. That group or that authority, that group will be called a change advisory board. They will be accountable for all the changes happening to that IT service. So, Harshad, I think whatever basic 10 questions I wanted to discuss.
Yes, sir. We can go with the Q&A session. So guys, if you have any questions regarding ITSM interview preparation, so please ask in the chat box. So Sajid sir will guide you about this. One more question in the chat box from Mayur.
I'm just going to chat. What's the question by Mayur? Can you share the link with SR and CR? This is from DS. Link with SR and CR. I didn't got it. I see one from Prashant Bhatti that service request is equal to new requirement. Not always. Not always. Service request is not always new requirement. As I said, report is traditional. You just need a new instance. So don't take at, I will say at high level, you are you are good. High level, we can say service request is new requirement, but not always. Okay, here on that change management, the okay, service request versus change request. Okay, service request again, service request is defined in the contract. Service request is defined in the contract, where the change request is a very broader term and high level term where we'll be talking about enhancing our services, correcting our services, because it is not that every time our service is 100% foolproof. So correcting those services. But okay, in nutshell, anything you want to change with that service, anything you want to change. What do you mean by change? Any change in the configuration of that service, addition, removal, or modification of anything. Addition, removal, or modification of anything is called a change. And if we are doing that change on any of the IT service, that becomes change request. I hope aware I clarified your question. Whether service request is not directly, service request is usage of that service. Service request is more over using that service, and change request is more over updating, enhancing, correcting that service. Okay, I see what is ITSM tool by Mukesh Pandey, and Karan said how it's software management working in ITSM tool. Okay, server or any application, both are called as CI or anyone among them. Among them, yes. So server or any application, both are called as configuration item. So as we in the example I gave you, mobile handset, SIM card, wireless services, Facebook account, everything is CI. It doesn't matter whether it is hardware component, it is a logical component, it is cloud, it is database, everything is CI. It is individual components. Now, coming back to the previous question about ITSM, how it's software management working in ITSM. So if I'm not wrong, you are talking about software management means software metering. How do we manage licenses of the various softwares? So now here, and the next question is, what is ITSM tool? So, okay, ITSM is a concept. What we saw, ITSM is organizational, so specialized organizational capabilities. And ITSM tool is one of the resource being used in ITSM. So ITSM tool will support, as we see that ITIL is a framework. So there are best practices provided by ITIL. Now, when any to have to implement any process, unless and until you automate that process will not become effective and efficient. It can be any process. So when you say recording incident or resolving incident, it's a process activity. So ITSM tool provides you the way of automating those processes. So when we say specifically ITSM tool, so specific ITSM tool has vanilla flavor of all the required practices in ITSM domain. And then further, you can customize that ITSM tool as per your own requirement to suit to your organization. And to address question by Karan, how is software management working in ITSM? So in ITSM tool, I'm taking your question more or from ITSM tool perspective. In ITIL provides you one of the practice, which is of software, which is asset management. So under asset management, you have hardware asset management, you have software asset management, which gives you clear guidelines, procedures that how you can manage your software inventory, how you can manage your hardware inventory, how you can manage your cloud. So logic, tangible, intangible resources. And this process is automated or not automated, but this process is configured in most of the ITSM tool. Now you need to customize that process with respect to your own organizational requirement, that how user can request for software, how you will be providing that software, how you will be budgeting that software, how you will be keeping track of the licenses or the quantity of licenses. I hope, Karan, you got your answer. And okay, there is one more question. Sorry, that is how COVID help in IT. So as we say, ITIL is end-to-end in ITSM management, but it is about not exactly, but moreover about managing IT services, where COVID comes from governance perspective, where ITIL is from execution perspective and COVID comes from governance perspective. Why should we have IT services? What type of IT services and how we should govern? How we should govern? That's the proper word. IT services that comes from COVID. How can understand a service request? Okay, Mukesh, you are saying how can understand a service request? Basically, conceptually, what I said, I cannot add anything onto that. But when you are defining a contract, as I said, issuing checkbook from bank is one of the service provided by bank. So it has to be documented that you will be getting checkbook. So it's when you are getting in agreement, that is SLA, not only SLA, but when you are getting in agreement, that time only you need to identify that what type of services will be providing on that IT service. Okay, this is nice question. Milind, you are saying I'm just at initial level of ITSM, where have handled roles such as incident manager, problem manager, change manager. So if you have handled incident manager, problem manager, change manager, then please don't call yourself that you are at initial level of ITSM. You have performed very made three critical roles. I hope you know in and out of these roles. And you are saying it seems more of coordination, documenting, etc. Right. That's correct. What I said initially, ITSM. ITSM is specialized organizational capabilities. So we have IT services. So as I said, IT services will be mainly supported, delivered by by technical resources. By technical resources. I'm not saying that you guys are not technical or in ITSM, we don't need technical, but there has to be somebody who can execute those practices, who can execute these processes, who can execute those procedures. And that comes as ITSM. So your technical team know how to fix that incident. But as incident manager, you know how to communicate with customer to get incident recorded, how to communicate back closure of incident, because that will not be done by technical team. So At high level, it is more of coordination, documenting, but it is like you can see it's like jail or bonding because only IT services are provided, but who will be providing support? Who will be providing this support? Who will be enabling these services? That is ITSM. So what is required to move up to next level like configuration, defining SLA, etc. in any one of the ITSM tool. So now don't get confused again. ITSM tool, configuration of ITSM tool is something different. Where do you want to get in ITSM tool configuration or do you want to get in the defining agreements? So defining agreements goes with customer. So you need to sit in front of customer, you need to sell your services, you need to take sign off on your services. That goes as customer oriented role. Now, Harshad can define everything. Harshad will win the contract and Harshad will come to you and he will say, what's your name? I missed. And he will say, Milind, please configure this in a tool. Harshad will sign off that what is the uh, what should be the timeline to resolve P1 incident. That goes as definition. And he may ask you to configure it in a tool. That's a different scope. So don't get confused. These are two different streams. So you are saying ITSM seems more of a non-technical role. Yes. Why you are saying technical and why you are getting in technical or non-technical? It's a role. And every role is mandatory in service management. If you are a technical person and you are performing non-technical role, believe me, you will have that advantage of technical knowledge while performing non-technical role, like incident manager, problem manager, when you will be working as problem management. Now, just let me take that simple case. Harshad has mobile handset, Harshad has Wi-Fi service, Harshad has SIM card, Harshad has Facebook account. Now, these four components or more components require different technologies. Now, can you be expert in all of this? No, but you can be expert in understanding service management. And with your technical edge, you can certainly help these technical guys to understand customer perspective. So don't get into that what is technical and non-technical. And you are saying, I mean, what is the next level in this path? There are n number of levels. I will suggest that you can connect with any of our sales team. They can help you to understand how you can grow in ITL ladder because it will be discussion of another 15-20 minutes, which we may not have that much time. But believe me, if you want to grow in IT service management, it is as I said that ITL is the most adopted framework in IT service management. So if you want to go for a non-technical role or ITL based role, you should know ITL, which will help you at multiple levels, performing multiple roles. Okay, Sandhya is saying pre-approved request. Yes, service requests, those can be pre-approved or it again goes with the your own, what we say, your own organization. Okay, Harshit, you are saying that definition for all the questions. See, it's a simple. Harshad may take a call on sharing this deck, but this deck has only questions. But even if you Google, you will get the definitions. Here, believe me, in interviews, it is not like Rattamar, right? It is not like you can mug up and give the interview. You may you may know the definition of incident, but when I am as an interviewer, if I am taking your interview and if I ask you incident and you give me definition, I will be happy. But I will ask for example. I will see whether do you really understand that concept or not. Because in IT, definitions are not important. Understanding concept. If you know the definition, that's well and good. But important, have you understood that definition? Okay, I think in the chat, we are at the end. Have I missed anything, Harshad?
No, sir. I think we have covered a lot of question here. Uh,
Okay, so control is back to you.
yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
So, all right. I hope found this webinar both educational and enjoyable. I hope you guys are feeling awesome. If you Yes, if you have any queries, you can connect with us. Also, you can share with feedback about this webinar on this link. I will share link in the chat box. You can share feedback about this webinar. Yes, I have already shared the feedback link. So you guys share your feedback about this webinar. And if you have any queries, you can connect with us. Our team will get back to you. So once again, thank you so much. Thank you guys. Bye everyone. Thank you.